Hi, good morning. My name is Kerrie Scroggins. I'm the owner of KDS Insurance Services in the Hockley, Texas area. That's just outside Houston, if you don't know the area. I wanted to talk to you today about the opportunity to save money in the insurance market. We all know the market has been going through radical changes. You've seen it, right, on your renewals. You might have been paying $1,500 5 years ago. Now you're paying $6,000 for your home insurance. That is how drastic the changes have been. But I do want to encourage you that there are still opportunities to save money. And the way you do that is working with an independent insurance agent who has multiple carrier options and multiple combination options. What I mean by that is, there was always this thought that if you put your home and your auto together, you're going to eventually save money. Well, that is true in some cases. But what I'm seeing, and I have 43 years of experience in this industry, so I have seen it all. But without a doubt, this is the worst market I have ever seen. There used to be this common thought that if you put your home and your auto together, you're going to save money. And that used to be the case. It really did used to be the case. And in some cases still today, that is the case. But it is for a very minuscule amount of the general public. And that depends on the carrier who is offering the package. For example, Travelers, Nationwide, Safeco, the bigger carriers, Liberty Mutual, they have a very, very specific small sweet spot, small target insured. And 85 to 90% of us don't fit that little square box that they want, right? There's a very, very specific target. And if you happen to be one of those people that hit that target, then great. You can probably find a home and an auto package together that's going to potentially save you some money. But there's been so many changes in the Texas market, so many changes to the policies from the carriers. This includes the requirement on your roof, the age of your roof, the deductibles that are available. Some deductibles are no longer available. Some carriers make you have a specific bottom threshold of deductibles. There's been so many changes in our industry because the marketplace has changed so much and because our economy is, let's face it, horrible. When the economy is bad, it directly affects insurance. Because what happens, the insurance companies are directly affected, just like you and I, right? We see it every day. The bottom number of our budget at the end of the month, when we get through paying everything, what do we have left over? It's getting smaller and smaller, isn't it? And for some of us, there is nothing left over. So we got to go to credit cards just to live, to get to the next month. The middle class, which used to be about out to here, is now down to about here. And so all of us are struggling. We're struggling financially. This means the insurance companies too. Here in Texas in July of last year, the strongest, most conservative insurance company in the state of Texas, Germania, decided that they just couldn't keep up. So they have a complete total moratorium on all new business. They haven't been writing new business since August of last year. That is a huge flag for this industry. And so from that point, carriers are sort of falling into the order. They're following their suit. They're following their lead. So there's many carriers that are no longer even offering here in Texas insurance on property, and some of them on auto. They have just left the marketplace completely. So when we used to be able to put auto and home together to see these great discounts, because those little target numbers are so small, and because there's so few of us that fit into that tiny little box, an independent agent now has an opportunity to put your auto and your home in completely different carriers and still get you what's called an interagency discount. So you're still getting a discount for having your auto and your home within the agency, but not necessarily with the same company. There are still options available. There are still savings available. I just saved last week, brand new client, $2,800 a year off of his auto and his home. So it is out there, but really the only way for you as a consumer, and me as a consumer too, is to work with somebody that is an independent agent that can shop as many carriers as possible, that can put your auto here and your home here and potentially save you money over what you've had in the last year. Now, I also want to let you know there's many carriers that are going to go through massive changes this year. They're going to be sending out non-renewal notices by the thousands. These are carriers who are in the current Houston marketplace that have already made announcements that they're going to be non-renewing thousands of people. This is because the insurance companies are struggling in their profit margins, just like you and me. When the insurance company loses its ability to have a large profit margin, and we all know insurance companies, they're the ones that have all the money, those in banks, right? I mean, I'm being real here, people. When that profit margin starts to go away, the insurance companies pull back and they're like, oh, we're not profitable, so we're not going to be doing any more insurance in this segment or this zip code or this county or with these people that have a certain underwriting criteria, or for these people over here who've had maybe 2 or 3 claims. All of that feeds into this big funnel. All of those different characteristics fall into this big funnel. And when that big funnel gets smaller and smaller and smaller, it means the insurance companies are not making as much money, which means the insurance companies are going to say, bye-bye. We're no longer going to write in Texas. Now, we know this is what happens because we've seen it in New York, Florida, and California. It happens, and it's happening here. And we are going to get to a point where the state is going to have to step in on the property side. The state already has a pool for auto insurance. So if you can't get auto insurance anywhere, you can go to the state and you can get liability insurance. You can, however, get comp and collision. So if you have a vehicle that has a loan on it, man, you are going to be struggling if you can't find any carrier to insure that vehicle. So you really need to do your due diligence. You really do. You've got to be an informed consumer. You've got to understand what your options are before you decide to go and buy that 2010 Chevy Camaro and you have 2 speeding tickets and 3 accidents on your record. You're going to struggle to find any insurance. And if you've got a loan on the vehicle, the state's not going to insure you. They're going to give you the liability, but they're not going to give you the comp and collision that you need for the bank. So it's so important as consumers to understand where you are right now in this insurance market. It is the hardest market in the 43 years that I've been doing this. But I want to encourage you that there are options. You need to work with an independent agent because independent agents represent more than one carrier. We try to represent as many carriers as possible. I can tell you from my personal experience, I had over 40 carriers 4.5 years ago, and that number is dwindling, and it dwindles every month because carriers are just simply are not making enough money to stay in the marketplace, which means you and I have less choices, which means what? When the supply goes up, when the demand goes up, the prices go up. And that's what we're seeing. It is a direct correlation to what we're seeing in the economy. And there is no relief in sight. Unfortunately, I do not feel that we are going to see anything this year. I think we're going to have the same things that we had last year and half a year before that. I don't think we're going to see any significant change until 2 things happen. Our election is concluded. And we decide as the public, who are we going to put in office? And then based upon that decision, that's going to have a direct effect on what happens to our economy. If we're going down the same road that we're going now, you and I are going to be paying and continuing to pay higher and higher and higher and higher insurance premiums. I don't foresee that they're ever going to go back to where they were. I could be wrong in that, but let's just face it. Going by history, when the prices go up, they hardly ever come back down. Look at rent, housing, cars, food, electricity, all the clothing, personal care items, entertainment. Is it ever going to come back down? Probably not. So now is the time for you to really get educated, understand what you have, understand your policies, understand what's on your driving record, understand what's on your claims record, and then be proactive. You need to be proactive in understanding where you stand from an insurance perspective. Now, I'm sure you're probably saying, well, that's what we pay insurance agents for. You're right. But you as a consumer need to be educated. If you're not educated, then you're not going to be making sound decisions. And that is not a good thing. So, two things that this message is here for you today to encourage you to get educated. Understand what you have. Understand your insurance policies. Understand the coverages that you have. You may not need all the coverages you have. You could have been sold a policy that you've got all these things that you don't need, but maybe 2 of them, and you've got 9 different coverages on your policy. Do you know any different? The only way that's ever going to stop, or you're going to prevent that, is to become educated and know exactly what you have and exactly what you need. You are the decision maker. Don't leave it to the agent. Let me tell you, there's plenty of agents out there that just strictly sell based upon the highest premium that they can sell you. They don't sell you based upon your needs. And I'm an insurance agent, and I'm calling out my other agents. Sell based upon what the individual needs, because that will create a better relationship, and that will create longevity with your client. If your client trusts you, then you will be able to renew your client. You as consumers need to know what you have, what's on your record, what's on your driving record, what's on your claims history, and then understand the discounts and the surcharges that that are on your current policies. And please do not ever give the insurance company any reason to non-renew your policy. This means doing your due diligence, making sure your trees are trimmed, making sure your payments are processing. I don't get confirmations of payments. I'm not the insured, I'm the agent. I get underwriting messages and I get renewal notices. I do not get a return payment fee notice. That is the responsibility of the consumer. As a consumer, it is your responsibility to make sure that your payments are processed, because 99% of the agents that sell you that policy do not get a confirmation when that payment is not processed. Normally, the only ones that are ever received are on the commercial insurance side. Please do your due diligence. Please be informed. Then you can make better decisions. First and foremost. And then you need to work with somebody that can help you. Somebody that understands insurance, understands your needs, and writes your policies based upon what you need. There's a big difference between writing a policy, just to write a policy and have all these coverages on it that you may never need. If you have 5 vehicles in your household and 3 drivers, why would you need rental car insurance? You don't. You have enough vehicles if one of them goes down. Rental car coverage is not just when you take your vehicle in and you have it serviced. Rental car coverage is when you are in an accident and you need a replacement vehicle. Did you know that? Or did you just assume that if you take your vehicle in for service, your insurance company is going to provide you a rental? It doesn't work like that. Be informed. That is one of your greatest tools when working with any insurance related issues. And then work with somebody that understands your needs and what your household and your assets require. And don't give up hope. There is still options, but you've got to work with somebody that can get you quoted on multiple carriers, so they can figure out, is it one carrier or maybe 2 or 3 carriers, depending on the amount of policies that you need, to save you the most money in a individualized insurance package. That's what I do. I'm an insurance agent. I'm independent, so I represent as many carriers as I possibly can, and I'm adding them as often as I can to always let my clients know they'll always have choices. I want choices. I'm a consumer. I don't want to get stuck with one carrier and then in July of this year get a non-renewal notice because that carrier, they're not making enough money, so they're just going to send you a non-renewal notice. I want to work with somebody that can check as many carriers as possible to make sure that I've got the best package at the best price. That's what I do, and I love the opportunity to help you. Please do not give up hope. Yes, it is a very challenging time, but there are choices. And I would love to help you. I'm in the Houston area. I'm licensed in 4 other states. So if I can help you in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. My office number in South Texas, the Houston area, is 832-391-8271. And my North Texas exchange is 817-374-4477. Or you can reach me all over social media. I am all over social media. You can actually go to my main landing page, which is www.kerriedevlinscroggins.com. If you go there, you'll see a link for the insurance agency. You can pick on that link and then we can communicate, or you can certainly call me and I will return your phone call. Thanks for watching today. Please don't give up hope. It is a challenging time, just like in any of the other realms of finance right now. It's just a challenging time, but we have to have faith that eventually we will get back on the right track. This is Kerrie from KDS Insurance Services. I hope you have a phenomenal day, and I will catch up with you in my next video. God bless everyone.